Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming to this game. So today we'll talk about how to protect communities and businesses through different climate risk finance and anticipatory action measures. So I'll start with a quick introduction on what climate disaster risk financing and insurance is, and then we'll head to the game. You see that today is very interactive. And just a quick reminder that there is a certificate available for everyone that is participating. So we'll talk about that at the end. Okay, let's get started. So what is climate disaster risk financing and insurance? It refers to a range of instruments and tools and strategies that aim to improve the financial preparedness of vulnerable communities and to build the resilience of individual and businesses against climate hazards. So the central goal is really to assist more rapidly to those in need when disaster strikes and to protect livelihoods and development. Why is rapid action needed? So you see on this graph, basically where the horizontal arrow is, where the disaster strikes or where the shock is. So for example, when a hurricane hits an island or a cyclone, then the longer you wait with providing support to the communities, the higher the recovery costs and time would be. So it's really essential to act quickly. And that's where insurance, and especially parametric insurance, can help. So what is parametric insurance? I think most of you probably know what traditional insurance is. So the hazards that we want to protect against are, these are examples: extreme wind, I mentioned cyclones, hurricanes, heavy rainfall, flooding, but then also heat waves, of course, and drought. So with traditional insurance, usually, after an event, there is damage. The insurer has to come to assess the damage. There has to be a claim, the claims process, and it can take months until the claims are paid out. So, but we want quick response and quick help, and that's where parametric insurance can come in. So with parametric insurance, you don't have a damage assessment, but you look at so you define parameters based on weather triggers, for example, the amount of rain or the amount of wind speed that is measured in one geographic area where people live. And then you monitor the data, and once the trigger is met, we see, for example, a hurricane of category 3 hits what we've seen in the Caribbean over the last month, then there will be automatically a payout. There's no damage assessment done. This means that payments can be done in days after an event, let's say 2 to 14 days. And with that, you can support very quickly. Now, with parametric insurance, one concept to look at is also basis risk. When a beneficiary signs up for an insurance, we see where that person lives, where the individual lives. And usually the area that is taken is, for example, a province. Now imagine a cyclone hits the island. In that province, not everyone will have the same damage, right? Even though the hurricane hits through. So if someone lives on the one side of the district and the other one on the other side of the district, and they have different damages, they would still get the same level of payout because the monitoring is done based on the area. And that's what we call basis risk, because it could happen that someone had a damage but is not receiving a payout, or they're receiving a payout although they didn't have a damage, they were lucky. Of course, we're trying to improve that with using better data, using more granular areas, but it's something to be aware of for parametric insurance. The last slide is sort of the different levels of insurance that we look at. So we have microinsurance that provides protection to individuals and small businesses. That is the microinsurance. Meso-insurance is at the meso level. So we're looking at insurance for cooperatives, for microfinance institutions, for also bigger institutions like humanitarian actors like World Food Programme or other. I know in Africa there's the ARC replica, for example, for the African risk capacity is giving insurance not only on the country level, but then also for institutions to pay out. And then the last one is macro insurance, so sovereign level insurance where whole countries take out climate risk insurance and then payouts can be made. So the idea is really to have at all levels protection. It's not one or the other for a comprehensive protection. That is for background, and you'll see there are different instruments in the game. We're not only talking about insurance. You will be able to try out different early action measures, early warning, building, for example, seawalls and others, but you will see how insurance can work, how loans can work. And at the end of the session, we want to do a quick debrief on what you've learned from the game. And with that, I'll see we have more people joining. Please just fill up the tables. We want to have at least 4 or 5 people per table. And with that, I'll hand it over to my colleague Magdalena to explain the rules and take us through the game. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. Are we motivated to make money and be very resilient? Yes, amazing. So what we need is groups of 4 people per table, so 4 players, and then one of my team will come in as a facilitator. So here I see we have 5 people in the table. So maybe one of you guys will have to move to a new table, because as you see, there's only 4 districts on the island. Every one of you is going to play 1 district. So we have one of you guys will have to move. No, well, you guys are fine. And now you're fine. One of you guys from your table needs to move over there, and then this table is fine. All right. Yeah. Thank you very much. Great. All right. Well, welcome to Hotel Resilience. This is an educational board game about disaster risk management and transfer. And we have a good hour and 15 minutes, which is a great time to go through this game. And we hope that this is a more fun way to learn about disaster risk management and insurance. And it's really hard to make insurance fun. But afterwards, you will tell us if we succeed. When you get out of the room, please, there is a QR code, scan it, fill in the data, because then the colleagues are going to send you this certificate. And when did you ever get a certificate for playing a game, huh? All right. So what we're going to do today is you are going to be the tourism manager of an island. Better say a part of an island, right? So imagine you're not in Azerbaijan, but you're in the Caribbean, in the Pacific, planning your next vacation, right? So this is where we mentally are going to transport ourselves. And this island, a name you can choose, it shall be undisclosed what country we're simulating. This has a central government, right? And the central government, this is me. So I'm going to make the rules, the ground rules of the game, and of course it's just a game, right? So a simplification of reality. Some things we make it easier to also bring a point across, across the point, oh my God. If you have questions, do question me, but I might not answer. There are 4 districts, north, east, south, and west. It doesn't really matter which one you are. It just, the one that's closest to you, this is your district, but stick to it, right? Because you try to make this the most successful district to ever touch on this earth. We have a market, sort of a bank. So the bank is going to be the facilitator from you and UHS. So each of you has a colleague, Sinja, Andrea, Alvaro, and Rachel, who are going to walk you through the game and answer your questions and break up your fights. We sometimes play with a journalist, but this time I think we are good. I think it's more fun to actually win money or lose money, but depending, if now we have like thousands of people storming in our sessions, there might also be journalists. Let's see. So the ground rule is, I mean, I've already said this, right? Don't question the rules. I mean, you can, but after the time is over. In the end, you play by yourself, right? Life is hard. In the end, you're alone. But of course, you share the island with your other governors. So you can consult. You can also, to some extent, cooperate. But in the end, this is about you making money or not. So the point is to be rich with hotels, if I can say it as frankly as that. You see the hotels lying there on the table. It's these little pieces in different colors. What they mean, I'm going to explain in just a second. And you also have money, resources. These are these tokens, the red and blue ones. It says 12. I gave you 14 because I woke up on a generous note today, and I don't want you to go bankrupt extremely soon. So one of these coins equals $1 million. Just think that now you own $14 million. Quite nice. And what we are going to do is we're going to run through several years of hotel business and also of risk management until we run out of time, right? In the end, we also want to have some time to discuss what we learned, if you're now really a fan of insurance or what. So I'm going to tell you when the time is up. All right, as I said, the winner is the one who has most assets, meaning most hotels and most money. The loser is anybody who goes bankrupt. Now, if you go bankrupt because you run out of money, you have to give up your job, be embarrassed, go to another island and apply to a new job that's not governor. So something else. If you're bankrupt, you have to put this orange little square that's on the table on your island, so everybody knows that this risk management did not succeed. We also have a winning island, which is going to be the one that has least bankruptcies. Maybe we have no bankruptcy. Let's see. Maybe, yeah, maybe. All right. Then the winning district is going to be the one with most assets. And assets, as I said, are hotels or cash. All right. We don't have a journalist at the moment, so I'm don't going to go into that. All right. So we have hotels, different hotels, and they are not, so there is like numbers, 2, 3, 4, 5, but this doesn't mean that one is a hostel and the other one is a Marriott, but it means that they have different qualities, different levels of resilience. So a hotel in the class of 2 is quite cheap to construct, but is also not very resilient against hurricanes. And this is the big problem of our island. We are in the pathway of hurricanes, which are threatening to run over our hotels and keep us with no income. So the red hotels withstands up to a hurricane class 2. So category 2, it's still gonna stand, but if a category 3 hits you, your hotel is gonna be knocked over and you have to repair it. And then the same goes for the yellow one, 3. This stands up to category 3. Afterwards, it's gonna be knocked over. And then, of course, the king of hotels is the white hotel, withstands everything, cannot be destroyed, the nicest and most resilient Marriott you've ever been in, but it's also quite expensive. And there's a price list on the table in one of these cards that we're going to refer to in just a moment. So these other, the coins that I was talking about, the red and blue one, these are your assets. So mostly it's cash, but think about it as everything that's a movable asset. So it's a bit broader than cash, right? So it's also your laptops in your hotel and your staff and the plants that you use to decorate, everything that you own that has a value, but this can be moved out of place. Because the hotel, once you build it, you cannot move it, right? So then you have to deal with what's in the place. All right, so as I was already mentioning, there's different sorts of hotels. They have different prices to construct. You cannot change the class once it's constructed, so there's no upgrading and retrofitting in this game. So you need to think from the start. When it gets knocked down by a hurricane, you can repair it, but it also has a cost. A little bit cheaper than building from scratch, but still quite expensive. All right. And me and my fellow co-facilitators are going to stress you out, right? This is our job. Andrea is already happy for that. In the beginning, we're going to give you a little bit more time to make decisions, but we all know that time is ticking in the real life, and unfortunately also when it's about building hotels. All right, so now we get started after this lots of talking. And now is going to be your first investment. What happened to my slide? Okay, strange. All right, this has moved. But basically what's happening is that the first hotel we are going to determine for you based on luck or bad luck where you chose to sit. Because let's say you were elected as the governor of your district. The island is not empty, right? So the people who came before you made decisions, good, bad. Often when you get re-elected, you're like, everybody else is so stupid, why did they do that? But there's already something on your island. So now facilitators guide your people through which hotels they should buy. People who are in the North District need to buy a red hotel. People in the East District, a yellow one. In the South, category 4. And in the West, category 5. You pay with your coins. 1 coin is 1 million. And you give the money to the bank, which is the facilitator. All right, facilitators. Go and collect the cash. All right, did everybody buy their first hotel? Congratulations on your first purchase. Some people might be slightly unhappy because they are extremely resilient now with a category 5 hotel, but we will see how fate plays out for you. So now, after we've done our first purchase of the game, this is the cycle we're going to play through, right? So there's also the card on the table. The facilitator knows. Basically, every year in the tourism industry looks the same. So first is the booking season. This is very important because you want to know how many guests am I going to have in my very nice hotel on my very nice island. Of course, you can do your fair share with marketing and with putting up a good website and having great amenities, but there's also things that you cannot control, right? For example, like France, you could have some news that your country is infested by bed bugs and nobody is gonna book your hotel. Or you have a horrible exchange rate, your country got very expensive, nobody wants to come. So this is basically a matter of luck. In the end, in our game, if you have guests or not, this is a matter of luck. And how we get lucky or not, we're gonna determine in just a moment. After we got the bookings in, everybody went to booking.com, it is hurricane season. So then we roll the die, we see if we got a hurricane or not, and if our hotels got damaged. Depending on what was going on before, we either make money or we lose money, and then with the remaining cash that we have, we are going to invest. And then the next year starts once again and again until we run out of time. Or money, exactly. If you go bankrupt, unfortunately, you have to go and look for a different profession. All right. Okay, so we start with our first year, it is the booking season. The booking season runs like this. You take all of these coins into your hands, you shake it off, you put them on the table, and then you don't move them. If they are red or blue, this is important. So now everybody, take your coins, shake, put them in front of you, and then don't move them around. Yes, it's fine. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. With whatever coins you have remaining. Some have more, some have less. And now you put them on the table. Exactly. And then you just look at them and see what destiny has in stock for you. If you have only pink or red results, ooh, this was a bad year. I don't know what you did, but it was not good. Nobody booked in your hotel. Things are looking grim, right? So what happens when you only have bad results is you have to stand up and shout, "Oh no!" And I'm going to have my co-facilitator implement this very important rule. On top of embarrassing yourself, you're also going to lose 1 coin, right? Because you didn't make any money this year, but still you have to pay your staff, your cleaning, whatever you need to do, right? So you still have expenses. There goes the money. All right. If you have no more money left, right, not even 1 token, it's time to look for somewhere else. If you have... Okay, wait, I started wrong. So if you have only red and only 1 blue is enough, this was an okay season. You don't lose money, but you're also not going to make money. Okay, so that's okay. If it's only red, you lose 1 coin. If you have more than 1 blue coins, good year, you have the chance to make money, right? So only red is bad, more than 1 blue is good. Okay. Amazing. Okay, so now we go to nature's turn. Wait, what am I doing? We already had this. Let me just, This is unusual, but it's okay. If you run out of money, which can happen, right, before you go bankrupt. There's also the chance, like in the real life, to go to the loan shark, to go to the creditor, right, and to get a little loan. So we also have this in the game, but the conditions are tough. So, but what you need to do to be desperate. If you're very smart, you can also use this as an investment loan. I've seen this work, but only in very few circumstances. So basically what happens if you take out the loan is that you have to pay 5 coins right now to your bank, to your facilitator, and then no, the creditor will give you 5 coins. Obviously, I've never taken a loan before. But then you have to pay 2 coins back every year for 5 years. So the interest is quite high, right? But this is the only loan we have in offer, and it's called Fin Loans Inc. This is our trustworthy and very fair credit company, right? So there's also some loan cards here, and in case you run out of cash, your facilitator is going to guide you through taking out the loan. Now, it's the turn of nature, right? So we live in a hurricane-prone area, and the hurricanes have different strength, and they come from different directions. And now enjoy this amazing, this amazing animation. So the hurricane might come and hit you from the east, right? But the hurricane might also come from somewhere else, take a turn, unexpected, and hit you from the southeast. So we will see where the hurricane comes from, depending on our dices, you know what I mean. There's one that indicates the category from 0 to 5, and then there is one that indicates the direction. Now, if the hurricane hits your district, depending on the strength, it will knock over your hotels or not, right? So if a hurricane 4 hits you, your hotels 2 and 3 will be knocked over. If all of your hotels are damaged, this is the worst situation ever, really ever. So you're gonna move all of your money as well, because you have to have so many emergency expenses, except like 1 million that you left with your aunt in the United States, right? So some emergency money you're still going to have, but all the rest is gone. All right. This first year, we're going to be kind. The first year, we won't have a hurricane, right? But from next year on, life gets serious. Of course, now comes the real, after lots of introduction, comes what Zinja was talking about. We are not just subject to nature as such, right? We can protect ourselves with disaster risk management and risk transfer. So what we can do, if the hurricane is approaching us and about to hit us, is we can do structural protection. In our game, this is a seawall. Now, later you catch me if you're a nature-based solution advocate and you're like, how dare you put a seawall in this game and not mangrove restoration? But we talk about this later. So, we have the seawall. The seawall costs, I don't know what's happening with my slides, the seawall costs 2 million, I believe. You put it in one direction, then it is gonna reduce the impact of the hurricane by 1. So if the hurricane approaches from north, there is a seawall, hurricane was 5, it hits the seawall, now the hurricane is only 4. All right, but you have to be specific, so everybody can sort of build 3 seawalls, let's say north, then northwest and northeast. And I have decided you can share these northeast ones with your neighbor, right? Yeah, so let's be a bit more solidary, right? So, all right. So this is 2 million structural investment, and the seawall is gonna stay with you until the end of the game. Okay, maybe you also are interested in data and information to make good decisions. So what you can do is, it would be nice if you knew a hurricane was coming, then you could take your laptop, your staff, and your office plans and move them up the hill to a safe location, etc. So this is when you buy an early warning system. The early warning system is the little bell. The little bell is quite expensive. It costs 6 million. You can share this bell for the whole island. Doesn't matter who paid, but everybody is going to benefit from this bell. The bell, if you purchase it, the bell is going to be placed in the middle of the table. you will know when the hurricane is approaching, and basically what happens is that the worst case scenario of all your hotels destroyed and all your cash being gone, this is not happening anymore. If you have an early warning system, the worst case happens, you will not lose all your cash. Your cash is going to be untouched. So basically, this is to avoid worst case situation. And then, what you can also do is to buy our favorite insurance, right? So we have insurance policies here, and basically they cost 1 coin per year, $1 million a year for the policy. And they pay out, as Sinja explained, this is a parametric insurance, so the trigger is the hurricane strength. So if a category 5 hurricane hits your district and you have insurance, you will get a payout of 10 million in your bank account, and you can do what you want. And if a category 4 hits, you will get 3 million in your bank account. And this is not dependent on if you have damage or not. This is the, let's say, magic of parametric insurance. So even if you have a category 5 hotel, nothing happened to you, or your seawall reduced the damage, you will still get a payout. All right, so this is the 3 measures that we can take. We can build the seawall, 2 million reduces the strength by 1, early warning system avoids the worst case scenario, and you share with the whole table, and buy insurance. This one you have to renew every year, right? And usually just when you stopped buying it, this is when the hurricane hits you. All right. And now we walked you through the game, and now we start. I think we can do the first game together. Let's play. And afterwards, I will leave you to your facilitators. So, it's year 2. Last year we didn't have a hurricane, nothing happened. But you did make money, actually. So still we're going to pay you for the bookings that you had. There was no damage. So if you had at least 2 blue coins, look in front of you. If you had at least 2 blue coins, the facilitator is going to give you 1 million. 1. For each hotel standing, you will, if you had a good booking season, you will get 1 million. And this is the only way you can make money in this game, unless you take a loan. All right, now we start fresh. It's year 2. Booking season, everybody take their coins and shake it, shake it, shake it, and hope for the best. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. All right, and then put it. Did we have somebody who has to stand up and say, oh no? No, I don't think so. You all got lucky because you still have a lot of money. So good, you all had either okay or good years. Now it's nature's turn. So somebody take the dice? Somebody help me. And roll them. Yes. It would only hit you. Imagine there's like a hill in the middle. So it only hits where it hits. And you got really lucky, huh? So nothing happened to you. Huh? All right. So now that we know what happened on our island, is the season of results. Were you lucky and were you damaged? Now the bank is going to determine if you get cash or not. So for every hotel standing, if you have at least 2 blue coins in front of you, you will get 1 coin as a pay. All right, and now that you got some money, it's time to invest. And I hope while I was talking, you already made up the nicest business plan. You dug back from when you were doing business in college and you know what to do. So what you can do is to build hotels, build a seawall, buy an early warning system, or buy insurance. Off you go. Hello, everybody. We continue playing, but I want to announce something. The insurance industry has not been sleeping while you guys were touristing, right? So there's an innovation in the insurance industry that I want to share for the last few rounds. This one is called the residual risk policy. Because you guys were complaining, or your predecessors, but I have a seawall, I reduced my risk. This should be reflected in the insurance pricing, right? So we came up with a new insurance product. This product is a multi-year product. So you pay one coin for 2 years. And if you have a Hurricane 5, you will get $7 if it hits a seawall. So the product got very complicated, but there is some insurance innovation. You continue, I will hand it out. Hi, everybody. So we're going to finish this last year, and then we're going to discuss and see what we learned, right? So every table finished their last year. All right, guys, unfortunately, now we have to stop wherever you are. Just stop. And now we're going to determine who is the winner per each table and who is the real winner. So we go by number of hotels first. And if we have a tie, we're also going to look at your bank account. But first is what I can see with my eyes. Here is somebody who I'm extremely impressed, who has 2 Category 5 hotels, and then how many Category 4? Okay, so there's 7 Category 4 and 2 Category 5, so here we have 9 hotels. Please stand up. And on this island, nobody went bankrupt, so congratulations on your governance. All right, here we have, somebody went bankrupt. I'm very sorry. I hope you are in a country that has unemployment insurance. Okay, and there is, I think it's standing hotels. Okay, we have a tie between 2 who have each 1 hotel standing. Well, but they're down. Okay, so this island has 3 standing hotels. Life has been quite hard on them. There's 2 districts with each 1 hotel, so congratulations on staying alive. Okay, on this table, we have nobody bankrupt. And, oh wow, yes, we had an informal credit. Very nice, very kind. And the nice person also won with 3 standing hotels. Applause for this table, where we have solidarity in action. All right, here we have, ooh la la, life hit very hard on this table. We have 2 bankruptcies, one that was surviving on loan after loan. Also, most of the hotels are down, so this looks like a proper disaster. But we have 2 persons with each 1 hotel standing, and the winner, because the hotel is Category 5, and a bunch of cash. Congratulations! Okay. Climate change is very hard on this island. Okay, and here we have no one bankrupt, and we have a winner with 4 hotels. It's you, congratulations. You won this table. Okay, and a big applause for the overall winner, you, sir. All right, I really hope you enjoyed this game, but don't run away yet, because we still have 50 minutes. I'm going to hand over to my colleague Zinja to do the serious talk about what you learned about insurance, and also your reflections on what was close to reality, what was off of reality, and anything that you might have observed.
Thank you very much. I hope you had fun playing the game. Just want to see some reflections. We have a winner with a lot of hotels. What was your strategy? What do you think went well?
Thank you very much. First of all, I think I was lucky because I didn't get hit by any hurricane. So I invest more in the hotels, and as I invest in the hotels, I invest also with insurance. I buy insurance every year, And with the investment of the last year, I buy a new hotels. So that's the strategy.
And this table had impressive risk management, so they bought an early warning system in the first round.
Yeah, and we bought
The winner,
Yeah.
I mean, this in real life, I'm not sure if your approach have worked, because the gentleman has 3 seawalls covering his entire district. So I'm thinking, who would book this in real life? Not a single beach to be seen, but in the game it worked very much. And then afterwards, he was basically unharmable because he only bought hotels of category 4, which would withstand any hurricane. So basically damage-proof. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And maybe to look at the opposite, I think there was a lot of damage on that island. What did you learn? Or what do you think you should have done differently?
We can't do anything because every dish is 5 for us. 5.
Oh, okay. You're exposed
Means
to a
that
lot of risks.
we are centering the climate-affected area because we cannot do anything. We invested, we bought an early warning system, but it's not.
And seawalls. Did you
seawall.
take out insurance?
Also bought insurance, but
Okay. So despite different risk reduction
unfortunate
measures,
island, yes.
there was still a risk that persisted, and you were hit hard. Any other reflections on what worked or what didn't work for you? Where?
Couple of points. I think first thing what I notice is that if you're making investment in the resilient infrastructure, you don't require insurance and the seawalls. I think that reduces the operating cost of your business in this game. So I think if you have money and if you can start making investment in the resilient infrastructure, in the long run that works. What I found unrealistic was that bank was charging very unrealistic high interest rate, even for the formal business, I will
Do
say.
you think that is unrealistic?
For formal business, such a high interest rate I have never seen in the world.
Also, I'm sorry for one more. I want to just add a realistic thing. That is my experience. The real big interest rate loans is not helping the climate protection. It means that interest has to be a little forms for our world, all the loan system. I mean that.
So tell that to the bank on your island that was hit by category 5 hurricanes in a row, because if the bank gives loans to you and you're not able to repay because every time a lot is distracted, so that's why the interest rates might go up from the bank.
Yeah,
But
if you want to, in a realistic sample, if you want to save our world, it means that we have to decrease the levels of loans, interest rates. I mean that.
okay, yes.
One thing I observed is that there was a lack of collaboration. At the beginning, we had collaboration to buy an early warning system, and also, like one player was very collaborative in building seawalls. So you can see in our island, only one side has seawalls, whereas others were more aggressive with their investments to get economic returns instead of collaborating to create a shared protections. So I think that's very important, like being able to collaborate really helps safeguard assets and investments.
That's an important observation. And of course, the early warning also, you need to collaborate. Here we didn't have early warning and I think in other games we have seen as well that then when one district goes bankrupt, other districts jump in and actually help. That is good.
Yeah, interestingly, what we kind of felt, or a little later into the game, we realized, at least I realized, hard way, because I was the one who's bankrupt here, that we were initially debating on going for early warning. And that's when we had the most money and we could have easily done it. But one of us, or some of us said that, okay, we'll take the insurance route. Then few of them took, all of us took the insurance route, while we were putting in every year money. And then people like me, after a couple of rounds, said, okay, I'll take the gamble and not take the insurance. lost all my money. So the approach of the human nature to go after, to look sometimes to not think of collectively in the beginning itself. That can hit you hard, and that kind of hit me hard because I was the one who was bankrupt. And then the other approach of, how do we sometimes look at seawalls as more protective? I mean, they just sound better. And I think our banker also was quite strategic in the sense that what is pushed to you and pushed to you first, you pick up that and then you do it. So I don't know whether he was doing it out of intention, but that's what he did. So he sold us the right stuff also, which made me bankrupt. Yeah.
There might be advisors that can help. Yes.
Two things from my side. One is I also want to stress like the collaborative part of our island. We tried to avoid that he would go like bankrupt because we're on the same island. So someone gave a loan here, not the bank, but to avoid all this interest, so we would keep our island surviving. And the other thing is that we bought that was our very first action. Like we negotiated actually who would pay a little bit more to buy the early warning system. And that actually kind of like pay off very well. One last thing, we had an amazing advisor. Our bank was a very good advisor. So that's something to think about when you're trying to buy an insurance. Find someone that actually can give you good advice.
Yeah, I almost the one that I went in bankruptcy. But the thing that I noticed, and this is in real life, if you don't have enough money and you cannot buy the insurance, you're never not gonna get money. So you just get stuck there. So it's a real life that the people don't have the money, they cannot get insurance, and they're not gonna be ever out of the problem. While the rich people, the one who has nice hotels and has insurance, they get money, even though they don't need it. So it's just, do we have any bankers here working in insurance? But it's a real life that poor people cannot buy insurance and they don't get the benefits that the rich people are having by having insurance.
So that's where premium support would come in for those communities. Thanks. So we have three emerging themes, like collaboration being very important. Maybe listen to technical advisors that might have good input, but then also to look for the most vulnerable communities and to look at premium support as well, because they might not be. They need it most, but they can't pay for the insurance. Did you have any experiences where maybe you didn't buy insurance, but then with extreme events coming, you were convinced to do so? So I think what we saw on the table, the insurance take-up was very low at the beginning, but once there were payouts and we could see that it works, then more people started buying the insurance. It can be the other way around as well, right? So you see you have insurance and there are no payouts, and then you stop paying and then you're hit. So I think it's an important point to also understand insurance can also not pay out, right? But with a health insurance, you also don't pray for being sick. You take the health insurance to be protected when you're sick, and that's the same thing for climate risk insurance. I think with that, if there's any other observations you want to share, we thank you very much for participating. I hope you had fun and you learned something, and don't forget to get your certificate when you go out, you can scan. Thank you.
How do we access